Good morning, everyone. It is April 28th, 2026. It's about 8 a.m. in the morning, Eastern Time. Rise and shine, everyone. All right, so much to go over. First of all, it's been quite some time since my last video, so I want to give an update to what's been going on, what I see, how my trades worked out. If they break out of here, understand I will take a loss. I will cut my short and call it a day. But also, I would like to go into the 4-year cycle to go over some information that I'd like to show you. All right. So first of all, last we left off, we were somewhere around here. Okay. So let's zoom in into that area, and let's take a look. So first of all, I want to say, as far as my trades go, I was in a short, and I was explaining how I don't feel like these moves are real. There seems to be something going on here, and we'll get into that a little bit more. But to the surprise of many, I'm still in a short. So my short wasn't stopped out. I didn't take a hit. In fact, I'll show you exactly what happened. So we were over in this section right over here, and it wicked up, and yeah, so look, it popped up over here, and then now we are rejecting. We've got these two candles. Basically, it's starting to look like a double top, but let's talk about this section for a second. If you take a look at this, this was the range that we were stuck in right over here. We were stuck in this range for quite some time. Now, notice exactly how this chart is working. See how like there's like this heartbeat that happens, right? It goes like this. But then notice how this section here, this is actually a range. It actually looks like it's a channel, actually. It actually looks like it doesn't really belong to this section. Now, I'm saying that because actually all of this move that was done was all news driven. So there was let me get a different color here. So there was a pop-up, this was the straight up for moose, whatever. All of these look like they're pump and dumps. Look, you see how this pumps straight up? Look how it channeled over here. So, it created a flag. And then there was this huge pump over here. And again, everything was news driven in this section, right? There was a pump over here. And again, it came back down. And then, here we are again, right at the top here. If I were to stretch this off like this, we didn't really, we went somewhere, but we didn't. Okay. I mean, this was a huge move that went up, but when I said that I was taking a short, I did have an area right over here. This is where I was going to be stopped out. I actually put my stop loss a little bit above. I believe it was right about here, whatever. And what I also did was I added more. I really didn't like how this chart was looking. It doesn't make any sense to me, especially with news plays that I've been talking about this whole time. I felt like it was going to reverse. So I added a little bit more into there, but I'm going to show you how I played this completely, which is interesting. So first of all, I made this rectangle here, this channel, and I also put a center line right through it. Let me see here, right there. I put a center line right through it. Where's my center line? I thought I just turned it on. Come on, that's the horizon line there. There it is, right there. Okay, so if you could see, let's zoom up here so we can take a look. If you could see, it worked very well in this channel. Very well. You can see where the resistance points were and where the support was. It was over in this section right over here. And you can see, if I stretch this off a little bit, I'm using this candle as the final. There we go. And notice that we broke this channel now. Okay, so that's the trend line. We're actually breaking it. So there is a change of character that's happening right now. Okay, so again, what I did was I shorted over here and I held on to my short. That's what I did. We went over here and then we popped over here, and really we haven't really gone anywhere at all as far as that goes. I mean, here, let me put this in perspective. This was the high, and we revisited the high again, right? See over here, this cluster was the all-time high for this section, right? And this was the range that we were compressed in right over here. This was the range. Now, I do feel like this chart is really, really unbalanced. Again, the fact that this is breaking this area, I do feel like we are going to come down here at least. But again, I am really looking for it to come down a lot lower. Okay, so that's my plan. Now, I want to show you how I played this with Ethereum, because Ethereum, I really kind of I went to town with Ethereum. So let's jump in here and let me show you. So Ethereum, I was in a short as well. So I shorted over here, and then I took profit. And I've been taking profit like crazy. And then I shorted, and then I took profit, and I shorted, I took profit, I shorted. I took profit, right? So while my Bitcoin trade was actually underwater, I actually made quite a bit shorting Ethereum. And again, you know, I mentioned before that the way that I play these charts, I look for the more volatile asset, and I use Bitcoin as kind of a reference, whatever. But here, I've put together like this chart here for you to see everything. Now, first of all, for those of you that are, you know, don't quite believe that I'm trading this way, I figured I would put some reference here for you. So this is what I did over this course of being in this section right over here. You can see I shorted, and I took profit. I took profit, and I rinsed and repeated over and over again. Okay. Now, the other thing I wanted to show you was I wanted to show you this card right over here. This card shows how I played these sections. So let me zoom up here for a second. This is over 60 days. See, this is, let me choose a different color here. So this is 2/26 to 4/26. Okay. And if you notice, I've got 54 wins and 9 losses total, right? Giving me an 86% win rate. But if you notice here, look, I've got 3 closed longs and 60 closed shorts. So that's how I've been hedging the market. I've been hedging the market, going in and out, back and forth, really, let me click on that. Really trying to, take advantage of the opportunity here. And let me put this right over here. But the one thing I wanted to show you was this. This is what compounding gains look like. But again, I am showing you my progress here, okay? Every time I take a short, I am just adding a little bit on there. And because I took only 3 longs, which again, I pointed out exactly where my longs were on Bitcoin, I was able to hedge the market every which way. So all of these trades that I'm doing, where it's like, little nibbles here and there, all of these little 20%ers that I've been taking, 40%ers, 10%ers, have really been adding up over time. So that's how you hedge the market. So while I thought that, hey, this was a really good area over here, this was a really good area to long, I held on to that. And I shorted, and I shorted, and I shorted, and I shorted, right? Because I was hedging the market, playing the range. Okay, let's go into a couple of other things here, just real quick. Let's go over to AMC. Wanted to show you my trade for AMC. Now, I mentioned before that I've taken profit, and I am actually completely out of this trade. If we come up here and we touch this, I have a bag that's running still in here, and I plan to add more to my position. Now, I used this before as my area. I said that this is resistance, and I left the bag in there, and I have taken profit here, and I've taken profit here. I am waiting until this chart gets a little bit lower, and I will be throwing some more money into it. So I will be looking for that. Where specifically I think it's going to go? Well, I definitely think it should revisit this right over here. And there's a little bit of a blue nub right over here, and you can see that this is a cluster right here. So if we come over here, I think this is going to be my first trigger moment to actually throw some more money back into AMC. Okay, now I'm not going to go all in. I am going to build my long, just like I've done before. You can see that I bought a couple times over here, and then I did a big buy over here. If we come all the way down to here, then I will be throwing some more in. Again, kind of the rinse and repeat style that I've been doing this whole time. Okay, and as far as like AMC, as far as GameStop goes, I'm still holding on to my GameStop trade. Okay, so last we left off with this one, I was saying that we were actually down here, I believe. I was saying that it's starting to feel like it's going to resolve up, and so far it is. And, again, if we go lower, I'll be DCAing in and working my way up from there, because these two stocks seem to have got my attention right now. Okay, so let's jump on to the meat of what I wanted to show you today, which is the 4-year cycle. Now, this 4-year cycle that I mapped out in a video previously had some really good information in it. Now, I want to express that I did not make this 4-year cycle the way that you see online. I mapped this out a little bit different, okay? What I did was I mapped out the high, and then I mapped out the lowest angle, the lowest of where we turned around, okay, for this strip. I am interested in when the bull market ended and when the bear market ended. Okay, I'm not interested in anything more than that. I don't really care when the halving is or anything like that. What I care about is the pattern. So if you notice here, this is the all-time high for this set, and here is the lowest candle right there. Again, here we go. This is all-time high, and this is the candle. Now the interesting part about this is that this stretch of time over here is actually, they're about the same, okay? This is a kind of a rinse and repeat kind of setup. So I've added a couple more things here just so that we can have more of a conversation. So we are in a bear market right over here. We're in a bear market just like we are over here. This is the mapped out high right over here. And again, this was the start of the bear market. And this was the start of the bull and the bull market, right? I know I'm repeating myself because I want you to get this idea. So here's what I see in here. First of all of the time lengths are the same. So I'm going to show you kind of the anomalies of this chart. So you see this little box right over here? This is the same shape over here. This is actually off by a few candles, okay? This is the same box, and it is identical to this being off just a little bit. And the same over here. This is kind of where we are right now. Okay, this took 58 weeks for this bear market. This took 53 weeks for the bear market. 52, notice the pattern. Also, for the bull run, we've taken 51 weeks, 50, 49. Notice the pattern that's going on here. These kind of match, these kind of match, and these kind of match. So here we are right over here. Now, here's the interesting part. Look where we are. This line right here is the center of this time span. This is the center of the time span right here. Okay, so let me get rid of this text so that it's not so distracting here. So let's just focus on this right here. So again, this is the middle of this time span right over here, this time span. That's the middle of it. Look where we are. We are almost at the end of it. We are halfway through at this point. But I want you to take a look at exactly what's happening halfway through with every single one of these. Notice this. Notice kind of where we are right over here. Okay? Notice where we are right over here on the halfway mark. So here's the halfway mark right over here. We're right here. This is right here. And again, here's the halfway mark. Look what happens when we get to the other side of the halfway mark. Even if it looks like it's ranging, look, there's a huge spike down. Even over here, look, it just spikes down, right? So look at where we are right now. So if time echoes, and we are halfway through this bear market right now, then I feel we definitely have some more downplay to go. Now, this could absolutely be different. But I don't know. Until it says otherwise, I'm going to stick with the idea that, it echoes. Now, these have gone down a certain percentage. I have no idea if it's going to continue going down. But if you notice, just like in the time frames, it seems to be decreasing. So maybe we don't take a big dip as we did before. Maybe we take, maybe it's a little bit more subdued. But I do know this. We are now passing this, and we are kind of in a zone. September 26th, right? September. I've got mapped out here. We are in a spot where we can probably drop a lot lower. So this is why it also supports the idea of shorting the market. Until a chart says otherwise, I'm going to play it as such. All of this news-driven move that was done in this section, yeah, I mean, look at it. We definitely can kind of work our way down. Or we could take a huge spike down and work our way down over here. So that's what I'm looking at right now. And I'm playing the market like so. I've got a plan for this area. Again, I bought over here. I bought some spot, and I will definitely be buying some spot if we go lower. And if we don't go too low, I mean, again, I've got plans to buy. Like I bought once, I'll buy again, and I'll buy a third time if necessary. So I've got some dry powder on the side. In the meantime, I'm playing the charts, how the charts are, how they're presenting themselves. So anyway, as far as what my plan is now, I am just waiting for the market to cool down. I am in a short right now, and I'm hoping that, we fill some of this in. I'm looking for it to come probably right over here at least, to come test this zone. And it could be possible that we turn around. Who knows, right? But this is an if-then scenario. If it comes down here, then, I'll see how it reacts. I'll possibly take a long. I will hold this short for quite some time if I can. So I'm going to do the same thing that I did over here, which is I took a long, I held on to it, and I'll be trying to hedge the market. But I'm going to wait until I have a clear signal as to what's going on, because these pump and dumps that have been happening over here have been absolutely ridiculous, right? So anyway, that's my plan. Target down here, looking for it to come over here. have some kind of reaction, and yeah, we'll go from there. All right, guys, if you have any questions at all, feel free to drop a comment down below. And, if you are enjoying this content, please click like and subscribe, share it if you want, and, help grow this channel, spread some of the real information to people instead of, having them lost. All right, talk to you soon. Bye.